Hello guys, and welcome to some more AOR Porsche Cup highlights here on Assetto Corsa. And here you go, we're in, this is the second race of the season at Brands Hatch, and we're in qualifying right now, and this is going to be our fastest lap of the session, obviously after that P3 finish at Spa. But going into this week, I felt pretty confident after the decent result we had at Spa, and yeah, we pretty much nailed this up for this race, so I felt pretty confident going into this race. So here we go, heading into our lap now, into turn one. Pretty tricky corners, down into third gear we go, and we get a little bit of a slide there, not the apex, but not too bad. Short thing at the fourth gear, getting the best exit possible. Now into this second corner, down into second gear, again hugging the inside pretty nicely and keeping it in second gear, not on the throttle too early. Now left-hander, taking it into second gear. A little bit of understeer there and running a little bit wide as a result, but other than that, not too bad. But we do lose a little bit of time compared to our last lap. This corner now, down into second gear. Once again, hugging the inside, but not too much. There's a bump on the inside and the outside, but we get the car straightened up very nicely, and we've got a decent run down this straight now. We've got the next corner coming up, it's quite fast. We're going to take it in fourth gear. And again, pretty tight to the apex. A little bit of understeer initially, but still decent speed, not too bad otherwise. Now the right-handers, pretty tricky these. Third gear, hug the inside, running a little bit wide, you can do that, roving it out in third gear. And then once again, we've got a little bit of traffic in front of us that might put us off. And now, again, down into third gear, cut it a little bit of oversteer there. And now into the penultimate corner now. Down into third gear, hug the inside pretty nicely, and now the last corner, it's all just do or die. We can bottle it here, very easy to bottle it. Down into third gear for this one, again hug the inside and not get on the throttle too early. And now here we come, coming to the line now. It's been a very decent lap indeed, I don't say so myself. Across the line now, and it's a 1:26.913, I think it was. And that was very good. That was good enough for P2, I think, initially in the session. But that meant we qualified in P4, only 2 tenths off, or not even that, 1.5 tenths off pole position. So very tight session there between the top 4. I was very happy about the result. Chirac headed into the race with a toe problem, so that's why I was on in P5. But yeah, very happy with that result. Good qualifying for me. But here we go for the race for round 2 of the season. Hoping for pretty much exactly the same as last time out. So here we go for 5 red lights here at Brands Hatch round 2. And we are lights out, and away we're going. You get a little bit of a start, a little bit of oversteer, the best of starts of all time. Chirac gets a very good launch, and he's going to be into P3. So he's made 2 positions up into there, and we're just going to be okay. A little bit of oversteer on the outside line, but not too bad otherwise. Heading into turn 2 now, this again, being very cautious, no need to make any sort of attack on Chirac. And I left the door open to the guy behind me. So there you go, we're still in P4, so it's pretty much where we started, but we could have been P3 with a better start. But once again, very close behind the top 3, and look at that, you can see the top 2 are battling away. I think that's Rich and Seppel who are battling at the point at this moment in time. I think that was the case. I think no, it's not Rich actually. I think it was Chaos Theory and Seppel, I believe. Yeah, on the left hand side of the base, I think the grid order was a bit jumbled up because it just does this in this game. But we're looking pretty good. I was being quite cautious at the start of the race. I wasn't putting a lot of I wasn't pushing the car too much, and that's why the guy behind us, I think it was Gio, was quite close to us behind. So I wanted to keep it very cautious. I didn't want to push the car too hard. It was all about trying to get through the first lap very cleanly, and then starting to build up the momentum as the race went on. So, but you can see already very tight, and this was actually going to be the actual fun thing about this race, was that it was very tight at the front. I felt I had pretty decent pace to compete with these guys at the front. It's a very competitive league, but obviously I said Chirac had some problems with his toe, so he had to do, I think, left foot braking, I believe. So he was really compromised in terms of how much speed he could take. But there's your order: Seppel, Chaos Theory, Chirac, and then myself and Gio. That's sort of the top 5 for you. We're pretty close together at this point, so I was feeling pretty confident. But there was a point where I was feeling a little bit held up by Chirac. But me and Chirac, we were talking about it in the race, and we were just happy to let the race play out, and then we'll see what will happen. We had considered a change of swap positions. Obviously, we are EVR members. Obviously, he's teammates with Seppel, and obviously I'm on my own. But we still technically have that kind of relationship still. We're kind of still teammates in that sense. It's a bit odd, but anyway, the car felt really good at this point. We've got a decent amount of fuel on board. I wanted to again get to the end of the race. I didn't want to, not get to the end of the race. And our qualifying was very good. I was very impressed with qualifying. Not as good as obviously not as good as Spa, but I think we were closer actually to P1 than we were at Spa, so an improvement. But there you go. I think it's Chaos Theory who's lost the rear entirely, and Chirac's right behind him, and now that allows us to close up again once again. So here I could sense, people are making mistakes, and I said that, if they could keep right in it, then P2 perhaps, or even P3 could be on the cards once again. So just keeping it clean again, but you can see how tight it is. Seppel got a little bit of breathing space there, but he was struggling too, even in the lead. So again, I sensed in the party that I had a decent chance at some good points, and that's really what I was aiming for. Turn 1, braking a little bit earlier than normal. I didn't want to hit Chirac, that's the last thing I wanted to do, and I was pretty cautious into turn 1 very much throughout this race, really. I didn't want to push it. Once again, you can see Chirac turning straight into the apex and getting on the inside line. You have to do that in these cars. It's a trait of these cars. You have to make sure the car's on the inside, because on the outside, and if you do a wide line and tuck in, like most race cars, you're not going to really get there. But coming on later on to lap 5, and once again, we're still it's top 4. We got away from P5 a little bit. The top 4 are close. We're about 3 seconds apart. It's pretty close out there, and we've made no mistakes. Chirac there running a little bit wider. I think it was a constant trait. The last sector he wasn't so strong at, but that's where the braking really is. The last 2 corners, a lot of demand on the braking, and obviously he was struggling to be very accurate with that. But you can see we're so close, and I was like, this is really good. This is great racing. I was really enjoying it. I felt that I think I had better pace really in this race. I was much more competitive in this race in terms of the race pace than I was at Spa. I was talked in the last video about the race pace. I was about 1.5 seconds of the pace in the race. That could have been due to the fuel load and damage that I had. But generally here, the race pace was really strong. Happy with it. I thought I was running decently, and much better than I was at Spa. And once again, closing up in the first sector, but second sector seemed to be more Chirac's sector. Sort of after this corner, he tended to get away a little bit. You can see I'm understwing a little bit, and I'm not taking as much tight line. He gets a better exit there than me, and I think the right-hander was a bit better as well. But after that, we kind of close back up again. So I felt that our best sectors were probably sector 1, sector 3. Sector 2 not so much, but you can see here we actually got a pretty decent run, so maybe I'll retract that claim. But the gap was awesome, and it was good to be racing. Like, finally, after such a long time, we really got a close race on our hands on a racing game. Project cars, we've never really had that situation where the gaps are being spaced out. Obviously, he's just going Tora. Obviously, the AOR Project Cars GT3 League was pretty, the gaps weren't so close. But here, really close racing. It's the first time I've had this for quite a long time, and it was thoroughly enjoyable to be here. But once again here, Chirac, I think he felt that he was kind of holding me up, and eventually I think the guy that had kind of got a bit of a gap, and we started considering perhaps we should let each other go. I think actually it was actually at this point he said to me, "Dom, do you think you're quicker than me?" And I said, "Perhaps." I said, like, at this point I was like, it's too early, let's just wait a little bit and just wait until later on to try and get that result, try and get in front of him. That's what I said. I said, we'll give it a couple of laps until lap 10, I said, and if lap 10 was the same scenario, he was to let me go and have a go and try and chase him down the field, because obviously he was a little bit compromised with his foot. But he was doing a solid job at this point and keeping it really consistent, having no issues. But again, our pace is superb. We really are there, and I felt, look at that, he's gone wide there, and I went up the inside. I was looking at his car more than I was concentrating on mine. I didn't want to hit him. That was the kind of thing I wanted. I didn't want to hit him. I didn't want to cause a collision. It wasn't worth it. He did say to me, well, I mean, that was a move you could have made there, but then again, I was concerned about oversteer because of the bump there as well. There's a little bit of concern there, and obviously, again, very early with 23 more laps in the race to go. I didn't really want to cause an issue. That was my priority. I just didn't want to cause a collision. But look, he's made a mistake, and the gap has built to the guys ahead. So I knew if we could kind of another 3 more laps of this, I would have felt we would be. I think Shrek would have just let us go, and would be able to try to close the fill up. But again, the car was superb, really good. We're getting away, but now heading to turn 1, he got away from us, and I just couldn't get the car slowed down enough, and I lose the rear. And luckily, I didn't actually hit the wall. I actually managed to save it, but I was so gutted. I completely bottled it, but basically the car didn't shift down quick enough. And I believe it was the way I was shifting. Perhaps I shifted too quickly. I think, in hindsight, I think I shifted down too quickly and wanted more from the car, so I was shifting down to fourth and then third too quickly in succession, and I think the revs were allowing me to do so, and that's what happened. We lost all that time. and we're down in P6. But then Rich gets a slowdown penalty, I believe, and we get into P5 once again. So I was happy. I was still kind of high hopes. I felt like decent chance for me still to get home into in a decent point position. It wasn't all over then, and I knew that I still had the pace. But this is when things started to unravel. Lap 10 of 30, and this is where really I bowled it. I cut this corner. I never cut it before, and I get a 5-second penalty slowdown. And I slowed down, and I was too eager. I was trying to get onto the power too early. We went into it 0. We're losing time, and I'm like, this is 0 training. And there's 0 seconds in the corner, and I go, and I thought I was okay. No, you have to wait until it goes off, and I didn't realise that, and it's something that I've learned. We defend against Rich here. He, I think, loses the car, and then we get disqualified. And yeah, that was that's it. That's the race. And I was so angry. I thought it was the game's fault, but looking back on it, it was me not slowing down sufficiently enough, and that's really unfortunate. But I think the win went to Chirac in the end, and I think Chirac and Chaos Theory, and I think it was Seppel the podium in the end. I don't have the full results, but very angry with that. A lot of opportunity. Our pace was really good, better than Spa, but all we can do is move on to Mugello and get a better result. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time out for some more highlights of Mugello. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in a bit. Bye guys.